Welcome. It's time for a show. It could also be time to go back to bed, but it's not. I would like it to be. I like doing the show, but I would also like to go back to bed. There's no way to do both. That would be weird. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today is Tuesday. It's November 17th, 2020. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Something tastes a little bit off. We'll see if it's just my taste buds waking up. The cat just stumbled when she stood up. That didn't make me happy. All right. Well, anyway, focusing on you here. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had a great Monday. I had a challenging Monday. I think my streak of, I think it was like 4 Mondays in a row where I felt really good and like crushed it. I think those are over. Or at least it didn't continue yesterday. I got done what needed to get done. Fortunately, that wasn't a lot. And pretty much dragged myself to the gym to work out. And I felt much better after doing so. I am theorizing that I need more physical activity than I realized. Even what I've been getting, I think might not be enough. So I gotta figure something out. Because it's cold and it's dark, and going for a walk after work really doesn't work anymore. Because sometimes we work until 5:15, 5:30, and it's pitch black. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I'll figure something out. First step to solving any problem is being aware of the problem. There's a funny taste in this. I don't know what it is. It tastes like there's hair in it, but it doesn't have hair. It's not the texture. It's just something about, I don't know. It's probably gonna bug me. And then tomorrow's cup will be fine. We're all individual like cups of coffee. We're all a little bit different. It's so lame and cheesy and cliche, and yet true. Things become cliches for a reason. Anything else happen yesterday? No, it's funny. I have more and more clients coming in, like more people coming wanting to work with me, which is great. I'm gonna have to figure something out for managing all those people, though. Got a message this morning that's weighing on me a little bit. The editor of Martial Journal, martialjournal.com, is stepping down. He's got too much on his plate, which is what happened with the last editor. So I think I'm gonna step into the role for a little while and see if I can establish some protocols that don't require us to be top heavy. I think I can do this. If I can't, I'll find somebody else. We're so close to the print edition of the magazine coming out that I need the foundation of the online version. That's where the writers are going to come from. We've built this wonderful system, and just it's so close to being self-sustaining. So Stacy says, take care of you. I'm trying. It's not always easy. I used to think that it was selfish to take care of myself. Through my 20s, it was really weird. I'd give and give and give and give until there was nothing left. And then I'd get mad at the people that I gave to because they didn't give anything back. I trained them to take. It's interesting to look back on the mistakes that we made, how we learn from them, how we're different because of them. I've learned a lot. It's a nice way of saying I messed up a lot, but I'm better for it. It's how we train, isn't it? You screw up a bunch of times until you get it right once, then you get excited, and then you screw it up a bunch more, and ultimately you screw up less than you get it right, and then you only screw up once in a while. And then you go on to the next technique, or the next form, or sparring, or whatever it is. That iterative process. Just keep making things a little bit better each time. Stacy says, if the cyber attack and a pandemic has taught me nothing, no one else is going to do it for you. I've messed up a lot too. Live, learn new thing. Yeah. You know what Stacy's referencing, she works at a hospital, at the big hospital here in Vermont. And they are, correct me if I'm wrong, Stacy, but I believe you guys are still in the midst of some of that cyber attack. I'm not convinced I'm not sick. I woke up. It's one thing to sneeze once. There's cat hair all over the place. But I've sneezed several times this morning, and I don't know if you caught it. That sneeze had a cough in it. If I can't, man. Being that we're in a pandemic, you're not allowed to sneeze in public. Wow. Still handwriting notes, still calling and faxing reports. Yeah, that's ugh. People asked me back when I did IT, why don't you get a job at a bank or a hospital where they quite often will pay well? Because I didn't want to deal with this. Back when I had my IT company, a local bank considered not having any local IT staff. They had, 4 branches? They said, what if we just outsource everything to you? And I said, no, I don't want that work. And my team was mad because they knew it was big money. If a bank goes down, you fix it immediately. You have to. Otherwise, there are fines. Like, it's a big deal. I said, nope. Some jobs just aren't worth the money. That was one of them. Put in the pre-order for the sweatpants. Well, not the pre-order, the order for the sweatpants. We sold a bunch of pairs of sweatpants from the pre-order. I got a couple for myself. Sent those over to the printer yesterday and said, hey, make me sweatpants. We'll see what they say. Hopefully they will just say yes, because that's really what they should be saying. But we'll see. What else? Anything else? It's gonna be cold today. Thought I was getting my snow tires on yesterday. I was wrong. I showed up with my snow tires and they said, no, that's not for like 3 more weeks. Oh, whoops. There's just a lot to do. We'll figure it out. I always do. What's going on today? I have an interview later today. Got a few calls. Cat gets acupuncture. Once I'm done here, I'm probably only gonna get like 30 minutes writing on the book this morning, but that's okay. Just chip away, right? You have a problem, you work on it until it's not a problem. I think that's it. I think that's all to report. So let's see what you all really need to talk about. And I see some stuff from Frank. How ironic. Today, Tuesday, November 17th, 2020, is Take a Hike Day. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. John Muir. Yeah. I love being in the woods. I love living in the woods, walking in the woods, hiking. It's therapeutic. The Japanese have a word for it that I forget what the Japanese word is, but it translates as forest bathing. They kind of take the premise of parks, visiting a park and kind of kick it up a notch, a lot more trees, and you just kind of go and bask in the trees. Not like you would lay out in front of the sun, but it's less about hiking to get to a summit. It's more just let's kind of amble along through these trees. I don't know how to express it, but I feel better when I'm in the woods. That's why this is such a tough time of year, because everything's gray and cold, and I don't have a lot of chance to get outside. I was gonna hike last weekend. I didn't. I should have. Shinrin Yoku. Thank you, Stacy. Shinrin Yoku is forest bathing. Before I bought this home, and I was bouncing around central Vermont, living in different places, I felt the forest calling, just saying, hey. Or maybe I was dreaming of it, whatever direction. I could tell that I needed to be somewhere else. I needed to be somewhere with more trees. I have the woods back there. I've got some trees out in the front, and even though there are a couple houses right around me, lots of trees. And it doesn't take me very much walking to be surrounded by trees. I mean, what is it? 75 feet to the woods? It's not very far. I saw a raccoon on the camera yesterday morning. Raccoons were coming through. Probably the same ones that ate my grapes. If you've been a viewer or listener for a while, you remember that. Disaster. Slow down and enjoy life. It's not only the scenery you miss by going too fast, you also miss the sense of where you are going and why. Eddie Cantor. I feel like I need to blow my nose. I think we do have a tendency to keep looking out to the next thing, the next milestone, the next this, that, or the other, and we forget where we are. And I think this is why life seems to go so much faster as we get older. That we get really good at saying, oh, it's only a year until this happens, or 2 years, and that time goes by so fast. We don't get any of those days back. It is about the journey. Because what's the destination? We die. Right? Ultimately, that's what happens. So you got to appreciate what happens along the way. You got to stop and check out the trees. You got to read the books, talk to the people, drink the coffee, relish what you have. I've said it before on the show, there are probably millions of people who would literally kill to be where you are right now. Every journey begins with a single step. Maya Angelou. When I think about all the things going on at Whistlekick, the things that we've undertaken, the things that we are discussing, just the scope of some of these projects, they're daunting. They are scary, terrifying. How do you start? You start. Just because you don't know how to do the whole thing doesn't mean you don't do anything. How many people look at martial arts and say, oh, I could never do that? You don't start by doing big dramatic things that you see on TV or in movies. You start by not falling over. Start by punching wrong. All the things that we have going on now, if you look at how they started versus where they are now, they're better. Martial Journal's better. Live is better. This show is better. Martial Arts Radio is better. It's all better. It continues to get better. Our social media is way better. Mostly because I'm not doing it anymore. Andrea kills it. Everything just gets better as we do it. But we often use excuses. Yeah, maybe I know how I could start, but I don't know how to get from there to the next step or the end. How often do you go for a walk that you're able to see the last step from the first step? Iterative progress. That's why it's such a good analogy for that. You chip away. And our last quote for the day, once again, thank you to Frank for making sure I've got stuff to talk about. A vigorous 5-mile walk will do more good for an unhappy but otherwise healthy adult than all the medicine and psychology in the world. Paul Dudley White. I believe, and I've said this before, and the spring really reinforced this for me. I believe that in a couple years, who knows how long, in time, we will look back and we will say, we equated walking with exercise, and it is not. Gentle movement, just general movement, has so much more value than we give it credit for. It is not the same as exercise. An hour of walking and an hour of running have an hour of walking and 10 minutes of running have different effects on the body. And we need both. We need exercise and we need just movement. Going for a walk. That's why podcasts are so great, right? Put on a podcast or an audiobook, go for a walk, listen to some tunes. Out in the woods, just go enjoy. It's important. Walking allows us to continue moving while maintaining digestion. You know, our body flips between sympathetic and parasympathetic states. And when you exercise, you're in a sympathetic state. When you're walking, you're in a parasympathetic state. Digestion doesn't shut down. You ever hang out with I don't want to say an old family, but a family that kind of does the let's get together on Sunday and eat, and then everybody goes for a walk after? Like there's some wisdom in that. It helps digestion. Eat a big meal and then go for a short walk and tell me you don't feel better. You do. So I've talked myself into going for a walk today. Maybe at lunchtime. I don't know that I have time, but I'll try to make time, even if it's a short one. I appreciate you for making time for being here today. If you want to help the show, if you want to help Whistlekick, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you've subscribed, you've turned on notifications, you're checking out all the stuff that we do. Martial Arts Radio and Martial Journal, and you've been to whistlekick.com. And if you've got questions or comments or something that you want to say, something you want me to read, drop it in the comment section below once the show closes, and I'll check it out and talk about it tomorrow, Wednesday, or whenever. Thanks for being here. And if you can, get outside today. Go for a walk. I'm going to do my best. Thanks for being here. Take care, everybody. Peace.